All right. Thank you all for joining us on our Let's Get Real. This is a candid conversation where we have honest conversations about leadership, growth, courage, and how to shine on your own terms. Today, we will be diving into a topic that touches every one of us, branding. Not branding in the marketing sense, but in the human sense. Your brand is what people experience when they encounter you, your energy, your consistency, your voice, and your values in action. As I often say through my framework, the Diamond Model, our brand is built through clarity, excellence, and integrity. It's what helps us stand out and stay authentic. My name is Reneé, and I am joined here by three dynamic women to speak about brand. Sharrarne Morton is a media entrepreneur, communication expert, and CEO of Morton Media. Her brand is all about confidence, connection, and using your voice globally. Thank you, Sharrarne, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Danelle McCamey is the founder and president of DMPs of Color, assistant president for strategic partnerships at the University of Maryland School of Nursing. Danielle's brand blends the vision of advocacy, showing what is possible when leadership and purpose align. Thank you so much, Dr. McCamey, for joining us. And Dr. Katie Boston-Leary is the Senior Vice President of Equity and Engagement at the American Nurses Association and one of the most respected voices in healthcare leadership. Katie's brand is all about authenticity, courage, and she leads with impact and heart. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today. So today we're going to talk about defining our brand or defining your brand. When you hear the phrase personal and professional brand, what does it mean to you and how do you define yours? And I'm going to ask Sharrarne to start us off.
Okay, so thank you again for having me here. I think personal and professional brands bleed together. They are one and the same, especially if people are looking to you for information, if you're an expert in your field. For instance, me, I'm in media, I'm an entrepreneur, I do television and radio. I was on ABC7 News Channel 8 for 14 years. That helped to expand my brand and gave me an opportunity to be on SiriusXM Radio, where I have been now for 9 years. So when I walk outside, I always tell my clients that you are a walking, talking billboard of your brand. People are going to treat you the way you present yourself. That's super important. A lot of people say, oh, well, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But we know, most certainly, everyone does that. We are all judgmental. And I've gotten contracts just based on the way that I walk, I speak, the people that I know. Your brand is you every day. It's your hair, it's your makeup, it's your style, it's your shoes, it's your clothing. It's all of that. Because when people look at you, perception is truly reality.
Thank you. Thank you. Danielle?
I would have to echo her sentiments. I for a long time, I've tried to run from blending personal, professional brand. And as I've gotten deeper into defining who I am and the activities and the impact that I want to make with my career in nursing and as a person, the blend is just out there, And so I'm just like, okay, we're gonna make it shake and bake, and ensure that I'm living true to my brand. And some of the things that I value about my brand is being authentic, inspirational, encouraging, and empowering. And so that's how I am in real life. That's how I am on LinkedIn Life. So I think for me, echoing her sentiments, but also just expanding on accepting it, owning it, and being consistent with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I agree with my esteemed panelists, and I like to also say I'm really very honored to be here to talk about this and to be here with you, Dr. Reneé. And I think that as we mature, we figure out how to blend both.
Mm-hmm.
Because initially, when you're starting out, there is this compartmentalizing that you do to say, when I show up at work, in the professional side, I have to be this, but then when I go home, I'm going to be this. And as you get comfortable and as you build your equity in terms of your reputation and everything else, they start to come together. And the goal is for them to come together because it is hard to keep both of those things apart. And it becomes stressful over time if you don't. And I like to say one of the people that I really admire that is her true authentic self, no matter what company she's in, no matter where she goes, she is who she is. She says, "Lovely for me is this lady right here," because she does things in the professional side that I'll go, "Would I do that?" She's really, and that's what I appreciate about Danielle. She's really has been able to finesse that, where she's the CEO of her own company and she does what she does and she is who she is. She says, "This is who I am and love me for me. And if you don't like it, and I've learned that from her about how to be authentic, because that always, over the years, to try to like say, well, in the process, I'll talk this way, I'll act this way, I'll dress this way. But now I'm really learning, and I'm better at blending both, where I can still be my authentic self, especially today with everything that's happening and all the things that are happening with the falling of leaders that we've admired over time and what they've shown us, where maybe that person we thought is someone we held in high regard, maybe not so much. So all the more reason why now it's important for us to find our authenticity and be our authentic selves, no matter where we are.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. For those listening, I want you guys to think about this. If someone were to introduce you in one sentence, what would you want them to say? That's often the starting point for your own brand and how you come across. So I'm going to get into the diamond model. Those that have listened before know that I've written a book called The Diamond Model, and it offers a lens to strengthen your brand from the inside out. So let's explore a few of its components and how it shapes how we show up personally and professionally. So personal excellence, it looks at your inner brand. Your personal brand, it always starts privately, right? I think we talked about that, and how you manage yourself privately, and your habits, your mindsets, the boundaries you have. Leadership is another component. Our leadership choices tell people who we are before we even speak. It's how we show up and how we ensure our leadership reflects our authentic brand, especially in high visible, high pressure moments. Mentorship and relationships are really, really key and important for us as minority leaders in these spaces, that we're mentoring others and that we seek mentors. And then also goals and outcomes. And so thinking about how we set these goals and how we measure our outcomes. So I want to now get into what I call real. We all know that branding isn't really about perfection. It's about presence and consistency. So what is one lesson that each of you all have learned the hard way about protecting or evolving your brand? I'll start with you, Katie, since you're looking at me, giving the eye.
The best way to protect and promote your brand? Well, I think it still builds off what we just said is, I don't want to ever be in a position where I have to memorize what I have to say, script what I have to say or do. I'm all about, at this point in my life, engaging in script-free behavior.
Yes.
Where I am able to adjust to my audience appropriately, and while I'm adjusting and addressing my message and managing it through a prism of who's in front of me, I'm still staying true to who I am. And when you're able to stay true to who you are and what you say and what you do, and I remember years ago when I was a leader in a perioperative setting, and nurses will appreciate, this example, because when you're leading in that department, you're leading 3 different groups of nurses. The nurses that take care of patients before surgery, the ones that take care of them during surgery, and the ones that take care of them after surgery, right? And I learned very quickly that when I would do staff meetings and I would stagger them an hour, after another, because they came in at different times, and I'll have the same agenda of what I need to cover. But I learned very quickly that I had to style my message differently, because the pre-op nurses were the ones that spent more time with patients, so they were more caring and compassionate. So they love to be stroked. Then the OR nurses are more about, if there's an issue, we're here to take this tumor out, this thing out. So they just want you to cut to the chase. They don't want to be stroked. Same message, but I had to adjust it accordingly. Okay, this is what it is. And then left a lot of time at the end for questions and answers. And then the post-op nurses were more about, feelings. They want you to share. They want to spend a lot of time talking about how they feel right now, how they feel after me. So it was interesting how I learned in that time about how to adjust my message to the audience, but staying true to the message. The content's still the same, but adjusting to how they want to receive it. Because sometimes I think we get caught up as leaders to say, I got it all out, so I feel good. Like, no, was it well received? And are they going to take the message and do something with it after I leave their presence? Because that's where it's at, right? So in terms of protecting and promoting your brand, it's really about how, because I also rely on the fact that these folks are going to talk to each other after these meetings are done. And I need to make sure that they're not saying to each other, why should she say this to you and didn't say this to us, right? So it's very important to make sure that when you're protecting your brand, is that integrity piece, which is a high value of mine, where my integrity is very important. I'm going to relay the same message. I'm not going to say anything to you behind closed doors that I would not expect to be printed in the paper. I don't do deals. I don't. And we will come to negotiations and compromise at times, but I don't do deals. And I want to be able to know at the end of the day, with everything that I do, I can say honestly and earnestly that I left it all on the dance floor. I did my best with what I had, and I can sleep tonight. And I rest on that.
Thank you. Can we talk about the dance floor real quick?
All right. Yes.
Katie, I think that you gave a wonderful example of when you are resolute in who you are as a leader, you're able to craft and strategize, because ultimately you want to make the impact. You want to plant the seed so that, like you said, the message goes forward. But it takes some internal work to be able to have that confidence and to be able to deliver in a way that you don't feel like you're compromised. Because I can remember, being young, I'm not going up in there and doing these things because this is how I am. And it's like, but you're not effective. Like, no one's listening to you because you out here want to, be true to whoever streets or whatever. But it takes a lot of, like you mentioned, maturity. It takes a lot of just being clear on who you are and how you want to represent. For me, going back to the protecting and the promoting, I guess for me, I'm always leery about when people say protection, because in my mind, I'm like, I've been given these gifts, and the only reason why they're gifts is because they're meant to be given away. And so I think about when folks weren't open to giving or were gatekeeping out of fear of protecting something or, a brand. And for me, I'm like, then what's your purpose? Like, you've been given these gifts and talents to share with others, share that. And so for some of us, it's in the gift of being on stage with a mic, despite some of us want to not be on stage with a mic because you're an introvert. But you understand the assignment, the mission, and the purpose. So for me, people always ask me, I can't believe you're an introvert. I'm like, yes, INFJ. But whenever I get the opportunity to speak, I know I've been given something to share. And so I just think about the mission, the purpose, and the gift and the anointing that has been on my life. And I just lean into that to freely share without thinking about, oh, this is mine, I need to protect it, but more thinking of the gifts that I've been given, it's up to me to share so that others can receive.
Nice. Thank you. Can you tell me what INFJ is?
The different classifications, like introvert.
Anybody else not? Okay. So I would look at protecting and promoting in a different sense.
Of course.
Legally. Like, I'm all about the trademarking.
Yes.
It's important that if you have a brand that's connected to a business, you want to make sure you have an attorney, you have an accountant, a tax advisor, all of the things, right? And unfortunately, they cost money. So a lot of times small business owners can't really afford all of those things. But once your brand starts to elevate and you're really out there promoting, and you have other people out there promoting your brand on your behalf, you really want to protect that brand, right? So as I mentioned earlier today, I'm the president of Black Door Society, and so many of my members, when they're out and about, they are promoting Black Door Society, right? They're on social media promoting Black Door Society. I am promoting them and their brands and their businesses, and so we're promoting each other. We're elevating, we're amplifying, and when you do that and you reach a certain level, you have to really be careful legally, because people will come and steal and take all that you've worked very hard for. So that's how I feel about protecting and promoting.
Thank you guys. I think you guys have dropped some gems with the audience.
Some diamonds.
And diamonds. If you could give one piece of advice to emerging leaders about building a brand with purpose, what would it be? And I'm going to start with you, Danielle.
For me, it's always mentorship. I mean, that is always, for me, the foundation to your success, is finding folks that are going to pour into you and help position you for success. So, and I always say you need at least 4 mentors, because you have so many facets to yourself as an individual. And so having a crew of folks to pour into you is critically important. And I can't say that enough. Whenever I get the opportunity, get you some mentors.
I would certainly say be a mentor as well, right? Because you can help people avoid those landmines that they are most certainly going to come across. And so even though I have several mentors as well, I think you're never too old to learn.
Absolutely.
I tend to be a mentor to many women, especially as well, to kind of let them know, okay, this is what's in store, or let me introduce you to this person. Let me help you find some money so you can do whatever for your business. Let me put you in that room over there where the women are not gatekeepers. So I like to say that being a mentor has helped me to grow my business and my brand.
Yes.
Yeah, I think for building a brand, I think as women, we don't do this enough. We rely on the situation to dictate where we land. I remember I heard statistics around how different men and women are in terms of how they think about their careers, in terms of growth, where professional women tend to think about it around certain marquee times with around evaluation time every year, every other year when they're mid-year evaluations, and men think about it every day.
Wow.
So I think building your brand entails knowing what's important to you, what mark you want to lead in the world, how you can also make a shift in terms of how we think about things and do things. And establishing that as your key thing that you go after, then you have your mentors that'll help you get there, because there are too many examples of folks that I've run into as well, where they'll say, I want you to be my mentor, so could you be my mentor? And then the first question I asked is, so what's your goal? It's like, to be like you. I said, well, what's that mean?
Right.
Because we're not here to be carbon copies.
Correct.
We're here to be our own individual selves, make our own marks, create our own niches. And I think we should be comfortable stepping out, because we are not here to fit in. We're here to fit out. And fitting out requires doing something outside of your comfort zone. So I think for us to finally get to a place of being intentional about what mark we want to leave in the world, and how we can be change agents is important for people trying to build their brand.
I'm stealing that one. Because you don't want to fit in, you want to fit out. Yeah, that's powerful, because I think that speaks to, each one of us, to your point, we could have the same job and we will approach it different. So, and I think that's what makes all of this so beautiful. I always say, someone, you create something, somebody else creates something, it will resonate with this group. I think there's enough space out here. There's tons of opportunities where we can all bring ourselves authentically. So thank you all for that. Thank you. I want you guys to complete this sentence for me, each one of you all. You're gonna love this. This one's super easy. A strong brand shines when
it's aligned with your purpose.
Oh, I love that. Its leader is authentic.
No, I think a strong brand shines in crisis too.
Oh, yeah. What do the young people say?
What's it called?
You're going into
I thought it was this.
Not the middle one or the first one?
It's the middle.
That's
a go-go style. Lock it.
I'll go with here. I'll go again. Sorry.
To the show again.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
That's a DC girl.
Okay. That's right.
All right. That's how we're going to sing. Love it. I want to thank you, Sharrarne, Danielle, Katie, for sharing your brilliance with me and the listeners today. Today's conversation reminds us that our brand isn't a logo. It's not just a logo. It's a story people tell about us when we're not in the room. It's built on thought, consistency, authenticity. Authenticity. I can't say the word. I'm just having some problems with it. It's built on thought, consistency, authenticity, and excellence. Whether you're leading a team, hosting a show, mentoring others, or shaping policy, your brand speaks long before you do. So lead with clarity, live your lives with values, and let your brilliance shine through. To everyone tuning in, take a moment this week to reflect on how your brand aligns with who you are and who you are becoming. Choose one facet of the diamond model, and maybe it's your leadership, your relationships, or your personal excellence, and polish it with intention. Until next time, let's keep leading, keep learning, and keep shining on our own terms. Thank you all.